how can we have the right person in the right position to support hubs at the local level, by having that person also knowing the culture, knowing the context, and knowing where we need to put our efforts in. Having someone in Geneva or in New York or Beijing in forum offices think of different circumstances is not possible if we want to be true to have it as grassroots movement. So we decided to give it a try. We have 18 community champions that were appointed at this point of time, and we're hoping that when fully completed, we will have 40 community champions that will be supporting the hubs at the local level. And you are the first one, so you are kind of helping us launch this initiative and take it to the next level. So we want to iterate, we want to try new things. So bear with us, but also please, we would like to hear your recommendations and your suggestions vis-a-vis this initiative. How can we make it better? How can we strengthen it? As some of you, when you reached out with more questions, and we will go and we'll have time for all those. One of the aspects that took us time, because I think that this initiative will not be successful if we don't have the financial capacity with it. Because also we want the community champions to be able to move at the local level and support the hubs without having to wait for someone from Geneva to pay a trip that sometimes will cost a lot, but sometimes also it's not worth it because it's only 1 hour meeting, and it doesn't make sense unless there is a big bucket or a big trip with different hubs, different visits that are planned. So I'm dreaming, and the team is dreaming big with the community champions, and hopefully this is a first stab at what is it, and we will take it forward all together to the next levels.
Thank you so much, Wadia. Thank you. I think we will share more and more, you know, of different background things in the future as well during our individual meetings, like why particularly in every single sub-region we are thinking that it will make more sense to have a community champion. What I would like to quickly underline before we introduce ourselves is that like our main vision behind the community champions initiative is that they you know, they will really support the HQ in all decision making directly, you know, being you know, being connected to the local hubs. And for us, you know, it means that as Wadia explained, we will work hand in hand with the community champions to take final decisions and to drive actions locally. And what we want ultimately to see as the outcome of this initiative is that the effective hub governance, recruitment, and engagement will not be just the fluffy words in our onboarding guide and charter, but it will be something that every single hub will embrace. And if we want to grow to 500 hubs, as Wadia said, we want to make sure that these 500 hubs are not just, you know, something on paper that we want to promote and to the world that we're a big community, that they are functional and they are doing things we're proud of. And now we will go to little intro series. I'm super happy to see almost everyone on the call. Indeed, I think only 2 people haven't managed to join the call. We will share the recording with them. And now I hope that you can also connect to your audio. I see that most of you are on mute. I really appreciate that. We do not have any background noise. What we will do right now, for all those of you who have been at the forum meetings, you remember that we invite you at our onboarding session to learn how to introduce yourself, putting your name and hub first. So I think from now on, you have also to learn how to introduce yourself in your new quality. So I would like you to introduce yourself in 1 minute basically, and to say, I'm Albina Krasnodemska, I'm community champion for let's say Europe and Eurasia, and share one maybe fun fact about you if you'd like. To start with, I will invite my colleague Anna, who is also on the call, to introduce herself, so you also get to know Anna in her quality as our deputy head. Anna?
Thank you, Albina. So, hi everyone. As Albina mentioned, my name is Ana Maria Saldarriaga. I am wearing multiple hats inside the team. I'm proudly the community manager for Latin America, and I'm also helping structuring the impact strategy and operations of all the hub projects in the community. And super happy to have this initiative of community champions, because it's going to help our community be more fast and agile.
Thank you so much. And now we will be passing from one member of our webinar to another the floor. So once you have introduced yourself, share also the fact about your community membership. It would be interesting for us to learn how far you have gone in your journey with the Global Shapers community before you have been appointed to this role. Have you been the curator? Have you been the founding curator? Have you been the member of multiple hubs? Are you the alumnus? Share please with us your journey so far in the Global Shapers community in 1 minute, and we will pass the floor. Once you're done, you pass the floor to the next person on the call. You can also see the names on the screen. So we'll start with Noah.
Sorry, Todd, to get that unmuted. My name's Noah Miller. I'm from the Lancaster Hub, and I guess now I'm the champion for the Northeast region of the United States. I've been a shaper for a long time. I am an alumni now. I joined, I want to say, in 2014 or 15. It's tough to remember all the way back then. I've been curator. I was on the governance council. I was one of the chairs of the council. I've had the pleasure of being to the champions meeting several times and getting to know shapers from all around the world. It's probably one of the favorite things I do on a daily basis. As far as a little fun fact or something to entertain, at least while I'm stuck at home, I've got my greenhouse going, so I'm getting ready for a good gardening season, and hopefully I can at least spread some cheer doing that as opposed to doing stuff outside in my own community, because we're all kind of stuck at home for the time being.
Thank you so much, Noah. Thank you, Noah. That's great to hear also your optimism. Who do you pass the floor to?
Let's see. I can see you guys on the side. Who else is here? Oh, let's go to Renard.
Perfect.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Oh, hi everyone, I'm Renard Siu. I'm the community champion for Southeast Asia from the Kuala Lumpur Hub. I have been with the Shapers community for about 5.5 years now. I have held different roles as head of communication for the Hub, also as curator in 2017. I've been attending the AMNC. That was how I met Albina. That was just last year. Also the Sustainable Development Impact Summit in New York with Anna. So yeah, I've been quite actively involved in Shape, APAC events as well. So I'm really excited about the Community Champions Group and looking forward to serving, the hubs here.
Thank you. Who do you pass the floor to?
I would like to pass the floor to Mayuri.
Mayuri. Mayuri, can you connect to your
Yes.
audio? Perfect.
Yeah.
Great, we can hear you as well. The floor is yours.
Okay. Hi, this is Mayuri. I'm the community champion for India East, Bangladesh, Bhutan. I am a global shaper from Kolkata Hub, and I have been the curator in 2017 as well. And as a part of other leadership roles, I have also been a mentor at the climate reality training with Bernard last year. So, and apart from that, I have attended, of course, the Curator Summit and also other shape events or India Economic Summit or at the annual meeting at Davos. But apart from that, I think, yeah, right now our hub is, our city got the first corona positive case, so we are just gearing up. So definitely a stressful time for us because we are on a lockdown. So we have been contacting what can we do from now. So yeah, I'm now with my hub, and I could not share this news with them because we were so stressed. So I'm looking for a better time to share this news with them.
Thank you so much, and we will do share all of the news with all of the hubs in a due time as well. So
yeah,
we do appreciate that. Who would you like to pass the floor to?
To Sona Miriam. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Sona Mirzayan, the community champion for Russia and Armenia. Do you hear me, guys?
Yes, we hear you very well. Thank you.
Oh, okay. So I come from Yerevan Hub. I joined the hub in 2012. And since then, in 2014 and 2016, I was elected the curator. So I was twice the curator of Yerevan Hub. In 2017, we organized Shape Eurasia in Armenia, which people say was very successful, and I believe it was. I was in Davos in 2018, was really honored to be selected. So thank you very much for that opportunity. It was amazing. I wish that whoever hasn't been, may you go. And I have also been to Summer Davos, and I've also taken part in the climate reality training, which was quite important for me as well. So as you can see, I've been with the community quite long, and I have been engaged in almost everything. And I'm extremely excited to start this new page because I became an alumni in November, just a few months ago. So now it's a new page, a new start, and I'm really excited to take the responsibility and to drive the change we anticipate to see. I pass the floor to Jackson.
Perfect. Thank you, Sona. Jackson?
Good morning, or kia ora, everyone. It is 3 a.m. here in New Zealand, so I'm going to try and talk.
Thank you so much for joining.
That's all right, but my flatmates who are sleeping may not like me joining, so I'll try and talk quietly. So I've been part of the community, well, I'm the community champion for Oceania, and have been part of the community here since 2014, 2015, when the Auckland and Christchurch hubs in New Zealand first started. So I was one of the first shapers of the Auckland hub and have been curator twice, as well as lucky enough to go to the WEF meeting on ASEAN and the AMNC and climate reality training last year, which was amazing. Fun fact, it is day 2 of New Zealand's 1-month lockdown because of coronavirus. So we're literally sitting at home for an entire month. It's day 2. I've already ordered a lot of tacos to be delivered tomorrow to help get us through day 3. And we'll see how the month goes from here. I am going to pass over to Jacob.
Thank you, Jackson.
Thank you so much, and you're a true champion getting up that early. So hi everyone, Jacob Larson here. I am the founding creator of the Stockholm Hub in Stockholm, and I actually before that I was part of the Dublin Hub, so that's where my journey began. And during that time I was also the European champion during our European project. So it's been about 3 years now, roughly, and I'm delighted to now be part of this. And fun fact, Jesus, probably this is like the perfect time to be a gamer. I play a lot of video games, and this is brilliant then to have these lockdowns. So I'm looking forward to that aspect as well. And I pass it on to one of my favorites, Bibi. The scene is yours. The stage is yours.
Hi, thank you. So I'm Bibi. I'm the community champion of Central America. I am in the Guatemala City Hub, and I'm really happy to be here with you. It's a challenge, it's an honor, and thank you for being here in these tough times as well. So my journey around Global Shapers has been since 2014. I joined in the Guatemala City Hub, then I went a few months to the Montevideo Hub. So I was kind of active in both. And then in 2015, I truly got to know more about the community at the World Economic Forum in Latin America. So that's where I met Walia, and it was fantastic. And the community really pushed me forward into what I'm working on today, actually, which is food security. I saw so many young people so engaged, and that really motivated me. And then a couple of more meetings at the forum, the Tropical Forest Alliance meeting as well, New Champions. I was a curator of the Guatemala City Hub in 2018. And really, I think I gave my everything during that time. And I really put Global Shapers as a priority because, as I said on other occasions, Global Shapers not only changed my life, but saved my life. So thank you.
Thank you, Bibi. Who do you pass the floor to?
I'll pass it on to Jackie.
Perfect.
Hey, hi everybody. I'm Jackie. I'm from Medellin, Colombia, and I'm the community champion for Andes. I've been in the community since 2012. I was curator for 2 years and almost the founding curator. I'm saying almost because our founding curator, when she started, she was like, yeah, I will give like all the responsibility to you. I've been in the meeting in Panama, the meeting in Peru, and I've been like in a lot of things in the community. As Bibi was saying, I also like give my everything to the community, and I'm really, really, really happy and really honored to be part of this new community champion. And just let me see the list because I cannot see everybody. And well, I pass it to Apostolos.
Oh, Apostolos. Apostolos, share with us your journey so far.
And who you are.
So it was in the moment that I was lost the connection, sorry.
No, perfect.
It's good to introduce him as well.
Perfect, perfect. Apostolos is the person behind all of the materials for community champions. You have to get to know Apostolos.
Thank you very much
for the invitation. Renard?
No, we will go with Apostolos first, and then Apostolos will pass to the next champion.
Great. So I have joined the Global Shapers team in February. I'm doing my internship actually in the Global Shapers team in the World Economic Forum for 6 months, and I'm super happy to collaborate with these wonderful people. It's more than a team for me, it's like family. And yeah, I'm working on the process optimization and the data management and data analytics part. That's why I know very well all of you. And I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let me quickly pass it to the next one, who is David.
Thank you, Apostolos. Hi, everybody. I'm David. I'm the community champion for the Caribbean. I'm a medical doctor, entrepreneur, immunologist, so I'm very busy these days, as you can imagine, with these unfortunate circumstances. In the Shaper community, I've been a Shaper for just about 4 years. I've been to the lots of the larger annual meetings in Davos, the MNC, as well as several regional meetings as well. And I'm happy to say I know many of you here. There was one time I actually met Wadia in 4 different cities in Africa on my own personal evangelism. And so it's happy to be
if it's a good news or not.
Yeah, I was protecting him. And so it's happy to be here, you know, in this forum with, you know, like-minded individuals who can provide a level of leadership and management to their hubs, because, you know, I think this really is a good initiative to enable us more to think globally and act locally. And I like what you had said, Wadia, in terms of the idea of getting the right message out to the right people at the right time. One of the unfortunate things I've seen in the Caribbean is the culture that falls into place if it's not set proactively. And I think for us here, we're going to have to clearly drive action and outcomes, but it's important to proactively determine the culture, or the culture will be determined for us. And so very happy to be a part of this, this crew, happy to contribute, and happy to meet everybody here.
Thank you. Who do you pass the floor to?
I will pass it to, I'll pass it to Jaideep.
Hi everyone. This is Jaideep here, and a pleasure seeing all of you and all the positivity in what's going on these days. And so a quick background about me. I've been a global shaper since 2014, was a curator for the Chandigarh hub, and then got the opportunity to serve the community as a foundation board member. Have been to Davos and the MNC, and then also have been closely working with the Shapers team in terms of the advisory councils, the steering committees, and the election committee. And it's really great to see that, you know, this was something, the idea of community champions was being sort of discussed in an initial stage at one of the meetings. And so great to see that it's finally being implemented. And the idea that, as Wadia mentioned, you know, the community has to be decentralized and locally empowered. So it's really great to see that. And thank you so much, Wadia, and the entire team for your leadership in sort of, it's literally like you're giving your baby to us. That's how I would put it. And it takes a lot of courageous leadership to do that, to put your belief in shapers to sort of drive the agenda at a local level. So thank you so much for doing that. And also, I think the recent times of the coronavirus have shown that communities are what it is going to take to really strengthen the way as we move forward. You know, the corporates, I think, have realized that instead of having a corporate culture, what you need is a community culture. And I think our community is bang on in terms of showcasing it and, you know, being actually as a case study for a lot of these companies to learn how you can still operate at a high efficiency in tough times. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jaideep. Who do you pass the floor to?
I'll pass it on to Sudarshan.
Sudarshan.
Hey, thank you, Jaideep. And so wonderful to see so many familiar faces and some new faces as well. And firstly, happy birthday, Noah. I just see that it's your birthday.
Shall we sing? Shall we sing, guys?
Yes, we can
yes,
sing and
please,
put our hands for 20 seconds then.
Please remove your, unmute.
Yeah, we do that as well.
All sing. 1,
yourself, people.
2, 3.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Noah. Happy birthday to you.
I'm sure you heard the kids singing as well.
Thank you, guys. I very much appreciate it.
Sorry, no, it was not very efficient chorus, but we did our best. And finally, Wadia's kids have found out that he's doing also some fun stuff during working. So
I'm glad now they're thinking I'm not working.
They don't believe anymore you're working. Sorry, Sudarshan, to interrupt you.
No, it's wonderful. It felt like this was a birthday celebration after one too many drinks because everybody sounded. so, so yes, I am Sudarshan. I'm a shaper at the Pune hub, which is near Mumbai in India. I've been a shaper for a little over 3 years now. And I got to be the curator last year of the Pune hub. So I'm the outgoing curator currently. And this year, I was also the co-chair of the Advisory Council on Hub Engagement, where I've had the opportunity to work with Albina a lot more closely. Over the last 3 years, I've been extremely fortunate to be able to travel and meet some of you here and also a lot of other shapers at different meetings, whether it was the AMNC or Davos in 2019, and learn from a lot of people from all over. So I'm very, very excited for this new initiative, the Community Champion. I'm very, very thankful and grateful for being a part of it. So yeah, fun thing about me is because of the lockdown, I'm cooking more, and I cooked Thai curry today and gave to my neighbors. So I'm doing that, which makes my mom happy because now I'm cooking more. So
wonderful. Yeah. Please send some tacos recipes to Jackson.
Sure, absolutely. And if they're not so well, Jackson, Albina's the one who suggested it.
That will be perfect for my 3rd week of isolation.
I think so. You cannot eat the same tacos for 4 weeks ahead. So
I think I probably could.
Super.
You're great, guys. Sudarshan, who do you pass the floor to?
I will pass it to my wonderful friend Vanjuhi, who was instrumental in hosting the Kick-Ass Shape Africa last year. So Vanjuhi.
Thank you very much, everyone. I am Vanjuhi Njoroge, the champion for East Africa and a global shaper from Nairobi Hub. I feel very, very honored to be here today and to be part of this new journey. I became a shaper in 2015, and immediately I think they invited us to submit applications or to attend the WEF Africa 2016, and I qualified. This was the first time I was attending this kind of forum, and they put me on a panel. I have never freaked out like that in my life, but it was one of the best sessions because I was then appointed to join the Internet for All project at the World Economic Forum. I have gone on to attend AMNC 18. I attended this year's Davos, which was a blast. And I was the curator for Nairobi Hub in 2018, 2019, led my team in hosting Shape Africa 2019, a beautiful experience that grew all of us and transformed the hub as it is and also gave us visibility. Before that, I was the project lead for education. During that time, we were able to install ICT centers in 3 different remote locations. And I'm happy to start this journey with all of you. Fun fact, this is the first time I'm working from home. I have found new respect for people who work from home. I don't think I can do this, but then ours is not total lockdown, but then it's only safe to social distance myself. But this is a new experience. It's pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I have to find ways of surviving. Nonetheless, I'm happy to be part of this community. I love being a global shaper. For me, this is my family. This is my other family that I got to choose. So I'm happy to serve East Africa. Thank you. I pass the mic to William.
William, perfect.
Hi, this is William, the community champion for Great China, and I've been with the community for 5 years and was the curator in 2017. I think the same class of Rao and Renard and of the Shanghai Yangpu Hub. And I've been with the AMNC for twice, and have joined Shape APAC and Shape MENA last year. So I have to say it's an honor to be back because I became alumni last year. So it kind of returned to my job somehow. And thanks to the community that I'm now doing impact investment as my career. So I think with this practice and experience, I will serve the community and the local society as well better in the future. And I'll pass the mic to Rao. Real. Yeah, sorry, maybe I pronounced a little bit.
No worries.
Improperly.
Hi guys. Thank you, William. Hi, my name is Ryo Kobayashi. Originally from Tokyo, Japan. Currently, actually based in Palo Alto. So it's like an epicenter of homeless development in the U.S. And I've been locked down for the past 2 weeks. So, frankly, I think I miss people now. Anyhow, so I joined the Tokyo Hub back in 2014 after graduating from college, and I was involved in I think the first big event we hosted was the Shape on the theme of peace that we held in Hiroshima back in 2016. Unlike most of you guys, I was never a curator, but I worked pretty closely and went to the annual curators meeting once in 2017, attended a number of Shapes. And I was mostly working on education projects that has to do with the high school and college kids in Tokyo and other areas of Japan in GSC and so forth. I am very excited to be here. And the only concern is that I'm sort of out of my geography now. I go back and forth, but I travel a lot. So, but I'm super excited to serve in this community with you all. Yeah, fun facts. Well, my country just announced that they're canceling Tokyo Olympics, and I think it was a brave move to make. But I know it's been a lot of debate, and there's certainly a tough time, especially for my friends who's athletes who are totally ready to compete. But I think this is a time that we have to work together, and we can definitely pull this off. I'm not sure if it's actually held next year, or they're gonna cancel it, or it must have been really difficult operations. But I'm really proud of my country to make that call. So, all right, who else hasn't spoken? I have a list here, but it's really difficult to keep track now. So, everyone has spoken. Oh, Karen. Karen, maybe, yeah, Karen.
Okay, hi everyone. I am Karen Dupont from Leon Hub in Mexico. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I've been in the community for 3 years and a half. I've been the curator from year 2018 to 2019. I've attended the Climate Reality Project in 2018. We hosted a regional Mexican meeting in 2018, which Waria came to. We hosted Shape Latam last year, and I attended a couple of Shapes. I hear that you guys have like a lot of years in the community, but I guess that I am the youngest. And will be happy to facilitate a taco webinar for you all. So that's it.
Challenge accepted. So thank you, Karen.
Okay.
I think Arish still has not shared. Yes, Arish, can you? Perfect.
So, can you see me?
Yes, we can see you. We can hear you.
Okay. So, my name is Arij Al-Hassan. I'm going to be the champion of the Gulf region. I've been a shaper since 2017. Yes, beginning of 2017, January 2017. I've participated in the MENA WIF Summit, and I've attended multiple Shape MENAs. And I see some familiar faces that I got to know during the curatorship summit in 2018. I'm really happy to be part of this initiative, and I look forward into embarking upon this opportunity and exploring this new system and giving our feedback to improve it and move things forward and make it better for whoever champions will follow us.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Arish. And thank you everyone for sharing. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you for touching this very sensitive topic of us being all, was locked down and going through what the world is going through right now. I think it's also healthy for us to have the opportunity to share it with each other and to see that no matter how global our community is, somehow, now we all are going through very similar experiences. It's impressive, and it's good to have each other in this moment. So I will very quickly go through the full list that Apostolos has prepared. You might have a few questions when you look on those slides. One, and that was my question for him, why all of the countries that we see on the map are in different color coding. So Apostolos has made the color coding according to the advanced stage of the development of the hubs in this country. And we will talk about this more in detail when we will have our individual onboarding. Зайчик, ты хочешь сесть мне на руки? I'm very sorry, I'm a little bit interrupted by my little helper here. So the second question that we have here might be like why do we have a different number of hubs in every for every champion? So don't worry, it doesn't mean that if you have less hubs than other champion, we will ask you to open that remaining amount of hubs. So we hope that we will grow, but this will not be the requirement. And let's very quickly go and see who are other champions who haven't managed to join our call. So we still have in our pilot Ola Jumoke, who will be the champion for non-Francophone West Africa. I think you have all heard about her. And if you have followed the last year's annual meeting in Davos, that's where we really learned a lot about Ola Jumoke. We also have Tanya Schmidt, who is the champion for Midwest. And Tanya is the great champion of our community already. She has been on advisory council, and we also have who else do we have? I think everyone else is on
everyone else is here. Everyone else is here.
That's impressive.
Well, you should introduce Damian.
Yeah, guys, so let me introduce you the most important masterpiece
of the Global Shapers team.
Yeah, he's a member of the Shapers team. He's the champion of the Shapers team.
That's my main project. So, Damian, 2 years and soon 5 months. So you can say hi, Damian. Cuckoo.
Hi.
And since 1 week, his daycare is closed as well for 1.5 months. So I expect my working from home to look more or less like that. So I apologize for that in advance, but that's how it is. We will very quickly go through the objectives of the pilot program before we jump into the questions. I just wanted to also very clearly specify what we expect from the pilot program. So what we really want, we want that after you heard about all of the expertise and passion, moreover, for our community from everyone who has shared just now, we really want that this great, wealth of knowledge of our community, this passion serves, everyone around you in the community, and that you leverage your skills and experience to advance communities' mission locally. And very often we have been found ourselves, in front of the situation when we had an amazing member of the foundation board or advisory council or a stellar curator, and then the mandate is over, and we have this great person who has the wealth of knowledge and love for the community and could bring so much more to our community. But since we do not have the possibility to give that another role, sometimes, this person would just step behind to give the opportunity to others, to learn how to lead. And I really hope that with this Community Champions program, we will manage to bring these people into the spotlight and give them the chance to share with others and to multiply all of this knowledge, so it can serve our community, it can serve us to grow and become, stronger and better in whatever we're doing. And what will be the main focus of the champions is to really identify barriers to achieve high performance hubs and help hubs to overcome them. And of course, when it comes from the HQ, in the past, we have managed to develop good relationships with the hubs. Every year you recreate these relationships with the new curator, but we always have seen that the dynamics between the community manager who speaks on behalf of the HQ and the World Economic Forum, and the dynamic between like peer-to-peer connection when you are having your good relationships in your region and you meet at your retreat and you share your best practices, they're very different. And we really hope that with the introduction of this new model of distributed leadership, it will be also easier for us to identify these barriers and to help one hub at the time to advance their mission, so we become stronger. And what else we expect the community champions to lead now is the retreats, the annual gatherings. And you know that almost in every single sub-region there is at least one retreat a year, and sometimes they are well coordinated, they are planned well in advance, and sometimes they just spark like that, and it's difficult for us to connect everything that is happening locally with the global picture. So we really hope that with the introduction of the community champions to their new role, you will be able to drive this, and you will be able to be on the forefront of also planning these retreats and understanding when do we have the retreat, what is important to bring, from the global perspective to this retreat, and what do we bring back from this retreat to the HQ, so we understand, what is happening locally and what we should be aware of. And with this, we also hope that our work will be more sustainable, because as Vadia mentioned, we cannot unfortunately continue traveling all the time. There are 6 community managers, and we cannot be everywhere every time, but we would like to be there, and we would like to help you to advance your mission. And that's why it will be from now on the role of the community champions to be that that person who advances the mission during the retreat and who helps to plan also the meaningful retreats. And to help that, we will also offer some trainings, trainings on design thinking, trainings on the interpersonal relations, so it will be easier for you also, if you haven't had in the past that experience, to do it. What else we really hope that through regular peer exchange, you will help to communicate strategic decisions and also communicate to the advisory council what is going on. So advisory council can take it into consideration and also shape our governance of the community globally. What we also hope, and that's something that I mentioned, we hope that we will grow sustainably with your help, because in some sub-regions we still hope to have more hubs opened. And particularly in strategic locations, in capitals, or maybe in big cities where there is the need of the second hub sometimes, or third or fourth. This is something where we will rely on your help. And how we will do it. So we are having different ideas right now, and since this is the pilot, of course, we will be testing different things with you. So hopefully by September, when we will onboard 22 more champions, we will be able to know what works and what does not, and what is the frequency of our meetings and which tools we should use. So what we have planned so far, Apostolos, who you have just met virtually, has developed the reports for every single champion on current hub status. And what we did, if you remember, the curatorship half-term review recently, and from this half-term review, we have tracked what are the main issues that hubs are going through. And all of these issues have been put in the report, and we will go one by one, through that report and what should be improved in order to make sure that hubs are more functional in the upcoming months. So that will be the part of our individual onboarding meetings. I have shared with you my calendar, and I hope that you will be able to join one individual meeting before the April 17th. If you still haven't had a chance to schedule that meeting, please do so. We're starting the onboardings already tomorrow, and we will go like that. Then we will have, after the onboarding, the possibility to draft the engagement plans. You have seen in the documents that we have shared in the first communication about your nomination that there will be the agreement with the World Economic Forum and the engagement plans. So based on that onboarding and discussion of what should be the priority, we will be drafting the plan for the next trimester. What is important to know is that the next trimester, due to the situation currently, and we see that this is the global situation, we will not foresee any traveling. So we will be connecting to our community virtually, and that's why we will put some tools in place and some trainings in place. And I really hope that when we will come back to what we knew as normal before, we will be able to also plan travels and different engagement trips. So what we have planned to share, I will take questions as soon as I am done, so I can, perfect. I can focus on the presentation and then I will take questions, guys. Thank you so much for flagging me. We will share the access to Zoom for those who do not have the possibility to use this platform. I think it is important that all of you are well equipped to have these virtual meetings, and that you are well equipped in terms of training, so you understand how to use the platform to advance the mission digitally. As Vadia has mentioned at, I'm not sure if it was at this call or all previous calls that we had already, We are working now with Adam Grant, the YGL alumnus. Maybe you have heard about him. After he has written the Give and Take book, he has developed the platform. It's like soft social networking. It's called Givitas. And after our Meet the Leaders session in Banjul, he was at this session this year in Davos. Adam has reached out and offered to open the platform, create a separate link in this platform only for global shapers for free. And that was a great, great offer, and we have accepted it, of course, and we are ready to launch this platform for the community champions and advisory council members, as well as the 50 shapers who have been in Davos this year. Because actually it was them who convinced Adam to have this platform, because they were so good. So we are launching this platform already on the first week of April. That's the plan, and this platform will help you to offer help and to ask for help. And I will introduce you to it during our onboarding meeting, so you can have an idea what individual onboarding meeting, what it can actually help you to advance in the community. You have already the Toppling chat, the one that Anna has created, and we will move to the Toppling group as soon as we have full house, 40 community champions. So it will be for September. At the moment, do not hesitate reaching out for whatever questions you might have to the whole group in that chat on Toppling. And of course, we promise that we will catch up regularly, not just to talk about how we advance our mission, but also to share some recipes and support each other in this, difficult times, because I think it's important to keep the spirit, high. And there were some questions. I will quickly check the chat. Okay. David, you had a question?
Yes, I did have a question, Albina. Thank you.
Perfect.
I wanted to just double click on the onboarding versus training.
Yeah.
But I see you just, I'm sure this slide clarifies it. But essentially what is required on our part, how is onboarding different from training, 1, and 2, is onboarding conducted on an individual basis and then training is in a group? I'm not quite clear on it.
That's correct. So very good question. Thank you so much. Thank you for asking questions, because sometimes we have assumptions and then we leave the meeting and that's not exactly what we meant. So I really appreciate that. I will also try to find who was the second person who raised the hand. At the moment, I don't see anymore, but if you still have a question, raise a hand and I will give you the floor to ask your question. So, right, this meeting is the general onboarding meeting for us to get to know each other and to get the sense of what we want to achieve with the pilot. But there will be individual onboarding meetings. So this individual meetings of 60 minutes when we will go basically issue by issue that we have in hub governance and look more specifically in your respective sub-region, which issues hubs have and what would make sense to tackle when. And then it will be individual, right? So it will be with the community manager and myself. And when I'm talking about trainings, about Zoom trainings, so this training will be the group training. So I hope that we will have one date for everyone, or maybe 2 dates because of the time zones, of course, to give the opportunity for the community champions to learn the platform. So that will be to learn the platform. And another training that I mentioned in the past was about how to design the virtual interaction. So that's something that I hope to have together with our design lead in the foundations team, and we will just make sure that you have at least a few hours throughout this upcoming months to learn how you can interact with the community members virtually in the way that it's efficient, because sometimes we're very good we're very good moderators or facilitators when we have in-person meetings, right? But many of us are still learning how to interact efficiently virtually, and that's our new reality. So we will try to learn more about these tools. So these trainings will be for all of the community champions 18. Okay, any other question at this point? Just checking in if anything was not clear so far, so I can answer on spot. Okay, perfect. So what we see as the timeline right now, and I hope that this is more or less, realistic timeline. So we really hope that by the 17th of April, we will be able to conclude all of the individual onboarding. So you have all of the information to prepare your engagement plans. And that's that's during the onboarding that we will have the discussion, when would you like to be introduced to your respective hubs. We would like to introduce you officially to the hubs that you will be working with on behalf of the headquarters. So it's not you who approach them. Hi, I have been appointed the community champion, but it comes from us. So we introduce you, and we would like to have the discussion individually with everyone, because we do understand that sometimes it's maybe not the right time. It's maybe like a special, special wording that you would like to use. Maybe you have shared it already, and we will take it offline with everyone separately. By the end of April, as I said, everyone should have also access to Givitas, and this platform will help you to interact on a daily basis and ask for help and offer help between the community champions and the advisory council members. By July, we hope that, by the end of April, we hope to also finalize the individual engagement plans. I'm happy to finalize all of the agreements as well. In terms of the physical signature, I think in the current setting, it might take some time. So as soon as our offices open and we're able to countersign, the documents, we will also finalize that. At the moment, we are all working from home until the 17th of April, and according to today's memo, I understood that it will last longer. In May, we would like to have these trainings done already on how to design human interaction, specifically virtually. And this will also helpful for you, because you will be able then to serve like trainers, it's like train the trainer program, and share these learnings with the curators on site. Many curators approach us and say that they do not know how to lead these meetings now, virtually. It was difficult for some of them, especially in big hubs with many ambitious members, to lead meetings in person, and now virtually, how to make sure that they are efficient. So we will try to tackle it with every community champion, so you can also raise these questions and help your local curators to advance in these difficult times. What we also want to make sure is that by July we can debrief on how it went so far for you and plan the engagement plan for the next trimester. My hope is that for that trimester we will also include some traveling, because some of the retreats will be postponed to fall. And then by August, we will select 22 remaining champions. So for the selection, of course, it will be important also your advice, and we will also be looking at the performance of current curators and advisory council members and other active members of the community. So we will be looking into the performance of community members in every remaining region, and we will be choosing the candidates, and we will be sharing with you the list so we can finalize that selection and announce all of the remaining champions and roll out the program to the whole community. I have not included here the Future of Leadership Summit. So for the Future of Leadership Summit, you know that all of you are invited to the event. We are still not clear what will happen with our event that was supposed to take place at the end of August, and as soon as we have this information, we will share with you, of course, and we will make sure that whatever happens, there is a programming that involves community champions, so you get necessary knowledge to share locally with your community. I think this is it in a nutshell, not to overwhelm you from the very first meeting. We will also have individual meetings, and we will go through the information that is more relevant maybe locally for your sub-region. I think we can pass now to the questions and answers, and I hope that you have a few questions still. We have 20 minutes to go, and I would appreciate like any questions, any clarifications at this time.
Hi, Albina, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. So I've also put this in the chat box. I saw that there were some, for example, Pakistan, Afghanistan does not have a community champion yet. So
right.
If the reason, as it now seems, that you want to also phase it, and phases, then I think that makes sense. But if you haven't identified the right people, maybe you could ask the community for suggestions, and you could ask the advisory councils, steering councils, the existing champions, and then later on the outgoing curators, and that way you could get some suggestions, and then you could take them through the process that you would have designed to identify the remaining community champions. Maybe you've already thought of this, but I thought I'd just write this in anyway.
Thank you so much. I think, Sudarshan, in any case, for us, it is crucial to have a background check when we appoint a person for such a position. You know, we really want to make sure that our perception and our judgment is confirmed by the community members who have a chance to interact on more or less daily basis with their peers, and sometimes we see that the community member is has a great wealth of knowledge, but perhaps it's not a good time, and this person doesn't have bandwidth right now, and it's all of these factors that we have also to include when we appoint anyone to this position. I really appreciate also like people who have considered very critically whether they will be able to embrace this mandate or not, and there was one person who said that this is not the right time in his life to sign this letter. So to answer your question, we have only selected 19, but then we have appointed 18 because one person has not signed the letter, because we wanted to go with people who we clearly see are now ready for this role. So that was our assumption. As of July, we will reevaluate in every single remaining sub-region the situation, and we will definitely have a few candidates for every single sub-region. And I will come back then to you, and I will ask your humble opinion on our suggestions. So we hope that we make a right decision at that point of time. Thank you. And thank you for your willingness to help. It's not an easy choice, but after our introductions and after seeing all of you here on this call in no matter what time and what circumstances you are going through, I feel like it fully confirms that we have done an excellent choice, and I'm so grateful for you guys to accept this challenge. This is a big new page in the development of our community. We're entering something we have never done before, and as the Jaideep Sal told, it's courageous for us also to give our baby, but we trust you, and we fully believe that it will work. It has to work with 10,000 members now, and our small team. We have no choice, and we cannot keep this baby to ourselves. We have to, it takes a family to raise a child. So it takes a village to raise a child, right? Any other questions? Thank you, Vanjuhi.
I guess something I'm wondering is there's a budget section. What are you anticipating we're going to be needing funds for, doing with our funds, things like that?
Yeah, so I think we have shared in that first communication more or less like very clear picture of what we see the budget can be spent on. And that was a big battle, just sharing you some behind the scenes with our also financial department. Till the last minute, we didn't believe that it would be even possible to allocate any budget, not because we didn't have budget, but because of the administrative burden behind, all of this. Can you imagine you are all working in different geographies, you have different legislations, and we do not even have an administrative department in the foundations team. We rely on the forums, team. So we have managed to get that, that budget, and that's when Radia said that we were confident that we can now launch this community. Most of those costs will be allocated for your travel and accommodation during your travel. So the retreats, shapes, any visits of the hubs that require, physical visit. This is where the cost will be allocated, and this is how we can easily track, that you have spent those funds for the engagement plan related activities. So this is why it is important for us to have the plan for 3 months in advance. So we will more or less know in this upcoming 3 months, there will be one retreat here, shape here, and I will maybe go to have this engagement trip to this new hub. And we'll be able to see more or less how much it takes, and we will be able to send you that necessary amount of money. And then with the receipts, you will do the reporting on the for that period of time, and about 5% of the costs can be allocated for unexpected, unexpected items, and but it's only 5% of costs. And of course, since it is the first time that we're doing this, and Forum has never tried to do anything similar. Vadia, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have never. It's a pure experiment for us to have this, collaboration trimester by trimester. We will figure out how to do it in the best possible way together, and we will also make sure that you do not have to, allocate any of your personal funds, and also for you to understand, we do not want you to stop your lives as well. We do recognize that you are volunteers, you have multiple priorities, and if some travels are not feasible, they will not be done. So you cannot be everywhere. So we will reassess trimester by trimester what is the priority and what should be in the core of your activities. Anything from you, Vadia, on this aspect?
I think you covered it. You covered it all. And as Albina said, it was actually the most time-consuming, difficult thing to align with, from the Forum side with their auditing and their processes, and for the first time we are pushing them to deal with small amounts, to our side where we want flexibility and we want to try something new and think outside of the box. So kind of we find a middle ground which can work for everyone, while we are from our side pushing for more with the processes and what's required by the Forum, but also by the auditing of the foundation. As you know, the Shapers community is a separate foundation, which means we have to give financial statements to the board, and they have to be audited by an external party, and then shared with the Swiss authorities, who is kind of the guarantee that everything is all good. So there are different requirements that are happening behind the scenes that we don't want to bother you with, and we found that this kind of agreement and then action plan is the best solution, so that we don't have to go into the nitty-gritty, and that also that will give you funds before, so you don't have to pay from your pocket and then be reimbursed. Because we don't want for you to have this as a burden, but rather as it's a tool to help you in achieving your objectives and plans.
Thank you, Vadia. Any other questions? We still have 9 minutes, and I think it's also important for us to remind what is happening tomorrow. Maybe David will be able to share in a few words about the webinar that you with other peers will be running, and a few words maybe on the COVID-19 action platform. Anna, Vadia, would you like to share a few things with our community champions with regards to this work that we're doing right now?
So tomorrow we will be hosting a virtual learning session, which will be moderated by David right here with us. And we'll have 3 other shapers. One is an expert who works for the WHO, and 2 other shapers that are from the 2 regions that were hit hard by the COVID-19, mainly Italy and China, where they will be sharing their expertise, sharing their stories from a personal perspective. And then we have David moderating, who's an epidemiologist, as he said, and then a shaper also from the WHO. David, you want to share more?
Yeah, thanks, Vadia. Thanks, Albina. So yeah, tomorrow is really an interactive session with individuals who have been extremely close to the effects of COVID. As I'm sure everybody has realized now, COVID has really transformed what reality currently is. Sometimes it feels like a dystopian novel, even in our settings, and I'm sure it feels even more, emotional for these individuals who are at the forefront of the fight. And so, tomorrow is really a session for us to explore their stories, right? And just sort of understand how the entire situation had evolved from their perspective, walk through their vantage points, walk through their emotions, walk through what they've seen, have them share key learnings and key observations that they have made within regions that have been particularly affected. And so I'm very excited to help them, elevate their voice and elevate their message in what I would say is one of the most severe global crises that we have seen. So everyone here is invited to tune in. This is really, it's interesting to see how the world has slowly come around to taking this seriously. And, when we had issued the call to the Global Shapers group, the level of support, the level of immediate responsiveness was absolutely overwhelming, and this entire sort of Global Shapers movement against COVID had begun from just about 2 weeks before the WHO determined it was a pandemic. And I think it speaks to the power of us as shapers being able to see what is existing within our local context and take that into consideration with what is happening around the globe. And so, fortunately, the Global Shapers collective massive was able to mobilize relatively quickly with running campaigns that got us a bit ahead of the curve. And know that the pandemic continues to peak, we're going to be discussing, but what is our next? What do we do next? What should we focus on next? And I think having the key expertise of Alice, who is from the WHO, and Shwena and Lorenzo from Wuhan and Milan, respectively, are going to be instrumental in helping us to shape our perspectives. So everyone, tune in.
Just want to add something, David. Perhaps if you want, we can connect after the call or as you prefer. I'd like to steal 5 minutes before we start the call because we are going to launch this toppling collaboration space that I just shared in the chat, in which we are going to centralize all of the Global Shaper projects that are related to the COVID pandemic, and make sure that the shapers are able to learn from each other and have a centralized place where they know what's happening around the world. So I'll be, like, as you can see, the link and the project that I just shared is already quite populated. The only thing that I'm missing and that I'll be working in the next few hours is to create the working groups, or what are like the specific topics that we are currently mapping out in the community, like for example, mental health, awareness campaigns, educations, etc. So you will see that by tomorrow, before the call, we will have the group section populated. And a specific call that I have for you as community champions is first and foremost, you need to be our toppling champions. And I think that the Global Shapers team has done a very good job at revamping and developing toppling into the community platform that we need to be. We know that it still needs a little bit more of development and it's never going to be fully done. But with what we have already, it's much more than enough for us to centralize our efforts. But that also requires that all of you have downloaded the app in toppling and that you have updated your notifications. And as you do that, make sure that your profile and the profile of the members of your region and countries are also updated. And if you have ideas on how we can make toppling more useful, that it truly becomes the online collaboration platform that helps us self-organize for impact, this is exactly one of the things that we would like to hear from you. Like, you are the voice and the ears of the community to us, but you also need to make sure that you role model the digital engagement as much as possible. So play with toppling, have ideas, and feel free to give them to any of us. I'm the one centralizing a lot of those ideas, but any person in the team is able like to bring your perceptions into us. Albinita, you're muted. Nope. Can you guys hear Albina?
Nope.
No.
So can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Perfect. That was my little helper who plugged the. Perfect. In case you are wondering, like what is the weird picture that Apostolos used in the presentation, pictures of yourself. So all of those pictures are your profile pictures on Hoplink. So maybe if you would like also to start changing those and the biographies and the descriptions, now that you are locked down and have a lot of free time, make sure to do it. So, but in any case, guys, David, did you want to ask anything else? I see your hand raised.
Oh, it must just be, it must be an accident. No, I'm good.
Perfect. Perfect. Guys, thank you so much. It's been an hour and a half. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your courage, your optimism, you know, all of your stories. As Noah said, it also like makes my day, you know, to see your smiling faces and to see your positivity. I do believe that this initiative will bring a lot for our community. And thank you once again for, you know, for being with us on this journey. Good luck with everything you are going through right now, and happy birthday once again, Noah. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you on our individual onboardings and hearing from you anytime you want a recipe or, you know, just to sing together. Bye, guys.
Ciao, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
All the best.
Thank you.
Get some sleep, Jackson.
Yeah.